You will blow your Forex account. Not because you're unlucky. Not because the market is against you. But because of one thing that almost every trader ignores. And the worst part is, you probably won't even realize it's happening until your account is already gone. When I started trading, I thought the biggest challenge was finding the right strategy. The perfect entry. The perfect setup. The perfect confirmation. Because that's what everyone talks about. Indicators, patterns, signals. It makes it feel like trading is just about being right. But what nobody tells you is this. You can have the best strategy in the world and still lose everything. Because blowing an account doesn't start with a bad strategy. It starts with small decisions that don't feel like mistakes at the time. Holding a trade a little longer than you should. Risking just a bit more than usual. Taking one extra trade. Because this one looks good. Individually, they don't seem like a big deal. But over time, they build up. And that's how it begins. Not with one big mistake, but with small ones. Repeated over and over again. It usually starts the same way for everyone. You take a trade, and it wins. Maybe not a huge win, but enough to make you feel like you're getting it. Like things are finally starting to make sense. And in that moment, your confidence goes up. You start trusting your decisions more. So you take another trade. And maybe that one wins too. Now it really feels like you've figured something out. And this is where the shift happens. Not in the market, but in your mindset. Because now, you're not just trading anymore. You're expecting to win. Every setup starts to look like an opportunity. Every move looks tradable. And without realizing it, you start lowering your standards. Setups you would have ignored before now feel good enough. Your patience starts to disappear. And your focus changes. You're not thinking about risk anymore. You're thinking about profit. How much you can make. How fast you can grow the account. How quickly you can get to the next level. And that's when the first loss comes. Unexpected. Uncomfortable. But still, manageable. So you tell yourself it's just one loss. And you move on. But then, it happens again. Another loss. And this time, it feels different. Because now, it's not just a loss. It's taking away from what you already made. So instead of seeing it clearly, you start reacting to it. You don't want to accept it. You don't want to close the trade. Because in your mind, it should come back. It has to come back. So you hold it a little longer. Hoping the market turns. But it doesn't. And now the loss is bigger. And the pressure starts building. Because now, it's not just about the trade anymore. It's about fixing the mistake. Getting back to where you were. So you take another trade. Not because it's a clean setup. But because you need it to work. And that's the moment everything changes. You're no longer trading the market. You're fighting it. And when you start fighting the market, you stop following your rules. You ignore your risk. You enter too early. Or too late. Or without a plan at all. And slowly, the account starts slipping away. And here's the part most traders never understand. The market isn't what's destroying your account. It's your reaction to it. Because the market doesn't force you to enter trades. It doesn't force you to increase your risk. It doesn't force you to break your own rules. That's all you. But in the moment, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like the market is against you. Like it's targeting your entries. Like nothing is working. And that's where most traders get stuck. They keep changing strategies. Switching indicators. Looking for something new to fix the problem. But the problem was never the strategy. It was the lack of control. The inability to stay disciplined. When things stop going your way. Because discipline is easy. When you're winning. But the real test is what you do. When you're losing. When your confidence drops. When your emotions take over. When every decision feels urgent. That's when most traders fail. Not because they don't know enough, but because they can't control themselves. So what actually fixes this? Not a new strategy. Not a better indicator. Not some secret setup that wins every time. It starts with something much simpler. Slowing down. Taking fewer trades. And being okay with doing nothing. Because the traders who last in this game are not the ones who are always active. They're the ones who are selective. They wait. They observe. They let the market come to them, instead of chasing it. And more importantly, they accept losses early. Not because they like losing, but because they understand something most beginners don't. A small loss is part of the process. But a big loss is a decision. And once I understood that, everything started to change. I stopped trying to win every trade and started focusing on protecting my account. Because in Forex, survival comes before profit. Looking back now, blowing an account doesn't feel like one big mistake. It feels like a series of small decisions that slowly got out of control. And that's why it's so dangerous. Because while it's happening, it feels normal. It feels like you're just one trade away from fixing everything. But that's the illusion. The truth is, the moment you start trading to recover losses, you've already lost control. And from that point, it's only a matter of time. So if you really want to last in this game, you have to change the way you think about trading. It's not about winning more trades. It's about losing the right way. Controlling your risk. Managing your emotions. And knowing when to stop. Because the traders who succeed are not the ones chasing the market. They're the ones who can walk away from it. So the real question is, are you going to keep repeating the same cycle? Or are you finally going to break it?